From New York City, this is Entertainment Weekly, the show. And the latest Entertainment Weekly cover is the Twin Peaks reunion. And we're geeking out with Bobby Briggs himself, Dana Ashbrook. We've also got Laura Dern in the house and legendary author George Saunders. Plus, Bones actress Tamara Taylor tells us what won't be happening in the show's finale. So pour yourself some damn fine coffee because the show starts now. Welcome, I'm Lolo Ganaike, and this week's Entertainment Weekly is dedicated to Twin Peaks. The cast came together recently for an Entertainment Weekly Reunites exclusive. Take a look.
I remember they screened the pilot and I'm like, well, I don't know. No one's gonna see it. Everyone's sleeping with everyone. I mean, I had no idea.
Audrey, you're a high school girl. I'm an agent of the FBI.
So do you want me to leave or what?
It was new for its time. The characters did things that you didn't expect them to do. But it was more than that. You know, it was a world, it was a, you kind of immersed yourself in a different place. I think people forgot where they were when they watched the program. They could have just kind of fell into the world of Twin Peaks.
You know why I'm whittling?
Okay, I'll bite again. Why are you whittling?
That's what you do in a town where a yellow light still means slow down, not speed up.
Twin Peaks came out and I think gave the audience what they were craving, which was intelligence and mystery and something different.
Damn, I still can't get the taste of that fish-filtered coffee out of my mouth.
It was like subtlety all the way, and you had time to think about things and talk about things and contemplate it and get scared.
All of a sudden, people were realizing, wow, you can make a television show look as cinematic as these really beautiful movies that you see on the big screen.
And slowed the pace down.
Slowed the pace down.
Literally slowed television's pace down.
Oh, it fell down.
I think a lot of people realized this is really not like anything else we've ever seen, and they stuck with it.
For more of this reunion, watch the entire special streaming now on Penn. And now I'm here with Entertainment Weekly correspondent and Twin Peaks superfan, Devin Kogan. Devin, welcome to the show. Twin Peaks fans are obsessed with this show. Obsessed. Why? What is it about this show that still resonates after all these years?
There's still, 25 years later, there still is absolutely nothing like Twin Peaks. It is the weirdest mix of like surreal horror and comedy and kind of small town quirkiness. It's kind of campy, got a soap opera vibe. And it's just like it mix matches all of these genres together in a way that is just like unlike anything else.
Okay, take me back to 1990. Let's go in like a time travel, right? You ready? Let's go. David Lynch and Mark Frost create Twin Peaks. It airs on ABC and it immediately becomes a sensation. Did anyone even know that this show would take off in this way?
I mean, there really was no previous example of a television show quite like this. I mean, you had an Oscar-nominated director in the form of David Lynch, you know, helming a television show. That was pretty much unheard of. I mean, you get that now today with, you know, you get David Fincher, Guillermo del Toro doing television, but in 1990, that was pretty unheard of. Now we talk all the time about prestige television. This is really the first form of prestige television. It really didn't exist as like a critically acclaimed medium until Twin Peaks.
You have murder, incest, prostitution, teens doing coke, teens selling coke, and coffee.
And coffee.
And coffee.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of shocking. I mean, ABC, David Lynch and Mark Frost, the creators, came to ABC with this pitch, and it was so wild and out there that ABC decided to kind of take a risk on it. And at that point, the media, at the idea of David Lynch doing a TV show, they kind of went into a frenzy. I mean, it was even before the show aired, it was all anyone could talk about. So that's why when the pilot premiered, it was all anyone could talk about, just because it was so never before seen and so strange and out there.
And having that level of artistic freedom was also uncommon back then, wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, this truly was, David Lynch and Mark Frost's show, at least at the beginning. I mean, they wanted to make a crazy show about, murder and pie and small towns, and ABC let them. And that's kind of unheard of.
And were you surprised about this show reuniting, or did you think it was just a matter of time?
No.
Everything's coming back.
I mean, it's kind of a shock, isn't it? I mean, so many of the shows that we've seen have been rebooted were off the air, 10 years ago, 5 years ago. I mean, this has been off the air for more than 25 years. And a lot of the shows that have been rebooted, it's sort of just like, oh, let's catch up with the characters we know and love. Let's catch up with Rory and Lorelai Gilmore. Yeah. Let's catch up with Mulder and Scully, things like that. What are they doing now in 2017? Whereas Twin Peaks is this kind of twisted, crazy plot that and there's still so many unanswered questions from the finale. It ended on these, major cliffhangers that to pick it up 25 years later is kind of crazy.
Showtime and David Lynch have been incredibly tight-lipped about what's going to happen. Anything you can tell us?
I'm kind of happy they're being so tight-lipped about it. I kind of want to see it unfold. I kind of want to see David Lynch's and Mark Frost's vision unfold as the show progresses. I mean, we know all the the people who are returning from the cast. All the major players are there. We got Kyle MacLachlan as Agent Cooper. You got Sherilyn Fenn as Audrey Horne. Sheryl Lee as Laura Palmer, although we don't really know in what context that's going to be, seeing as she's been dead for 25 years. But yeah, I mean, it's kind of, we really have no idea what to expect. There's a couple new cast members, which are really exciting. We've got Laura Dern, we've got Michael Cera. I mean, it's a huge cast. It's more than 200 actors have been named in the cast. So whatever we get, it's going to be interesting.
Devin Cogan, you're awesome. Before you leave, can we play a little game of Cherry Stem?
Grab one.
Okay, now, for those who don't know, explain the importance of this scene to me before you put the cherry in your mouth.
Okay, that'll be easier. So basically, Audrey Horne, who is played by Sherilyn Fenn, who is this very seductive kind of teenage character, and she basically, to kind of prove herself, she ties a cherry stem into a knot with her mouth, and it's this big moment. And it's basically... It's kind of like you see that parodied in every show and movie to happen ever since, but this is where it started.
This is where it started.
Yeah, let's try.
Ready? It's not working.
No. No, I'm no Audrey Horne. Nope, that was a fail.
Devin, you are the cherry on top. Thank you so much for being here. And well, you mentioned all the cliffhangers fans are waiting to see resolved. Well, we asked once and future David Lynch favorite Laura Dern to sum up just some of the dozens and dozens of loose threads. Check it out.
The original Twin Peaks left us with quite a few unanswered questions. I have questions myself, and I'm in the new one. So here's all of them, or at least as many as I can list in 90 seconds. What is the Black Lodge? Did Audrey survive the bomb at the bank? What about Pete and Andrew Packard? Is Ben Horne Donna's father? Did Leo get eaten by tarantulas? Where the heck did James go? Is Dale Bob? Is Leland Bob? Is Laura Bob? Who is Bob? Does Nadine have her memories back? What's up with those owls? What happened to Anne? Are Andy and Lucy gonna be happy? Is Wyndham Earle trapped in the Black Lodge? Are the giant and the old man the same? Are Bobby and Shelley gonna get married? A lot of questions, right? Did Doc Hayward kill Ben? Will Ed get to be with Norma or Nadine? Will Mike get to be with Nadine? Will the log lady get her car back? Where are Nadine's drape runners? What's going on? Find out which questions are answered or totally unanswered when Twin Peaks returns this May on Showtime.
I recently sat down with an actor you Twin Peaks fans will definitely recognize, Dana Ashbrook, aka Bobby Briggs. Take a look. I'm here at the hot new Manhattan bar, The Lately, our very own stand-in for the Great Northern today. And my guest is a wonderful actor you know as Bobby Briggs from Twin Peaks. And starting this May, you can see him in the new Twin Peaks on Showtime. Dana Ashbrook, welcome.
Thank you very much.
Do you
Glad
like
to be here.
the space?
Yeah, it's very nice, very nice. Very nice tribute to the show.
So take me back to 1990. How did you come to be a part of what would become a cultural phenomenon?
Just it was sort of a normal audition. You know, the casting director Joanna Ray was one of the I was young when I met her. I was like 19, and so she had always had me in for stuff she used to cast. She was working with David on the pilot of Northwest Passage. It was called then. Now it's called Twin Peaks. But when they were working on the pilot, she showed him a bunch of pictures of people that she liked as actors, and I was one of those pictures, and he brought me in, and I had a meeting with him and Mark Frost, and I didn't know anything at the time at all, and so we just sat there and we just talked for about an hour, and the script was so unique that I brought up a lot of those things that I thought were crazy, like the woman with the silent drape runners and the patch on her eye and all that stuff, and they laughed and they thought that was funny too, and then I had like a little meeting with David again after that, with just David Lynch and me and a young actress, and we read a lot of the scenes from the pilot, and it wasn't really an audition, it was sort of just like a little work session, and then the next thing was like the big audition for the network, and that was it.
What was David Lynch like to work with back then, and what was it like to work with him again?
As an actor, he's the kind of director that you can pretty much just do whatever idea he comes up with, no matter what it is. You'll trust that it'll work, and so you try and sort of satisfy that aspect. And so he's someone that has great ideas and great crazy stuff for you to do and to try, and he's really open to it. And every once in a while you try to throw in your own stuff, and sometimes he's receptive to it, and sometimes not. Just like anyone.
Did you know that this one show, would have that much of an impact on what would come in future years?
Man, no, I had no idea. I just came into it. It was the first television I'd ever done, and at that point, I don't think anyone really had any sort of concept on the long end of it. How it would kind of do 25 years later or whatever. But I remember when we went to the pilot screening, they screened it at the Directors Guild in Los Angeles, and I remember after seeing the pilot, it was the first time I'd ever seen it, and it was, I think it's still a great pilot. It was one of the better pilots I'd ever seen, and I remember afterwards everyone was coming up and really complimentary, and it was the first time I'd ever done anything where after the screening there was people that were actually like, hey man, that was cool, and I remember asking David, I said, hey, wow, these people really like this thing, and he said, yeah, just enjoy it, because it's not always like this.
Over the years, it's really grown in cult status, this show. Did you expect it to endure in this way?
I didn't, but I guess I became aware of it sort of like about 10 years after. There was like still people talking about it, and still like Twin Peaks Fest and all those kind of things. So that was always fun and just surprising. Yeah, I always thought I never thought it would come back, because it just sort of seemed like it had run its course, and I think everyone had moved on, and Lynch and Mark are doing their own things, so I never thought it would come back, and lo and behold, all of a sudden one day, just crazy.
So you get the call, and they say, hey, it's coming back. And you say what?
Just basically falls onto your lap. I was with Cheryl Lee, actually. We were going to London to do some stuff for Twin Peaks, actually. And that's when she got the call that it was for sure going to happen. And then she said, can I tell Dana? And he was on the phone. David was on the phone with her, and he said, yeah, you can tell him. So we went to London knowing that the show was going to happen, and we were actually going to have a part in it somehow, and it was crazy that that exact time when Cheryl Lee and I were hanging out that we found out. So that was kind of fun for us,
Okay, can we play some trivia?
Sure.
All right. The original Twin Peaks series ended over 25 years ago, so let's see how well you remember it, shall we?
Okay.
Who actually killed Laura Palmer?
It wasn't me. It was clearly her father who was possessed.
Ding, 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 yay! 1 for 1. What's Agent Cooper's first name?
Dale.
Okay, how many children did Benjamin Horne actually have?
Benjamin Horne? He had 2 children. He had Audrey and Johnny Horne. Am I right?
3.
3? Who's the third one?
I don't know.
Oh,
They didn't
okay,
give me
I
that
don't
answer.
Wow. But Johnny Horn, who was played by the great Robert Bauer, a great actor and great friend of mine to this day.
What is the name of the casino/brothel that was owned by Horn?
One Night Jacks.
All right. What's the actual name of the singer who performed eerie songs at the Roadhouse?
Julie Cruz.
Julie Cruz. Would have been
The
awesome
great
if
Julie
she-
Cruz.
Great Julie Cruz. Who played Laura's personal psychiatrist?
Russ Tamblyn.
Yes.
Who is Amber Tamblyn's father.
Is that right?
And also, Russ Tamblyn was in like Tom Thumb, the original Tom Thumb, when he played Little Miniature Tom Thumb, and they made giant furniture. It was like no special effects or anything. It was like a giant chair and a giant pencil, and great guy. And he was, Riff in West Side Story, so that's pretty cool.
Who of these celebrities did not appear on Twin Peaks? David Duchovny, Gillian Anderson, or Heather Graham?
Gillian Anderson.
Jillian. Gosh, you're great. What vision did Mrs. Palmer see on the day when Laura's cousin Maddie was killed?
A white horse.
A white horse, yes. You're fantastic.
Thank you very much. Thank you. I think almost 100%.
Almost 9 out of 10 ain't bad at all. You get some pie.
Excellent.
I recently interviewed the brilliant and delightful author George Saunders. You're pushing 60.
Yes.
And after decades of writing short stories, you finally decided to publish a novel. Why, at this point in your career and in your life, did you decide to tackle long form?
I decided to not do it, but the book was really persistent. I heard this story about 20 years ago, and every time I felt sort of artistically happy, that little book would come out of the shadows and go, "Are you ready for me yet?" And I pushed it back and pushed it back. And then finally in 2012, I was like thinking about it, and I was like, why can't I do this? And the answer was, it's too moving, too sad, too tragic, too earnest. I'm like, that's a terrible reason not to write a book. So it really was me trying to not do it, and the book sort of saying I really would like it, to give it a shot.
So it would nag you periodically, and you'd be like, "Leave me alone, book," and there it was.
Yeah, or for a while I tried to write it as a play.
Okay.
And because I'm from the south side of Chicago, when I write a play, it's a play, so it just was a big stink bomb. So, but every now and then I'd come back to it and think, well, maybe it's savable, and it wasn't.
And it wasn't.
So, yeah.
So Lincoln in the Bardo is set in 1862. It centers around Abraham Lincoln. He's mourning the death of his 11-year-old son. When did you first hear the story? Take me back to that period.
Well, I know it was in the Bill Clinton era, and our kids were little, and we just drove by a graveyard in D.C., Oak Hill Cemetery, and my wife's cousin just pointed out this crypt on the end, very kind of beautiful, kind of sad-looking little crypt, and she said that Lincoln's son had been buried there, and that he had apparently gone in there to hold the body. He was so grief-stricken. So. Just as a human thing, it hit me hard, and a little bit of an image came up of like Lincoln Memorial plus the Pieta, that kind of thing. So at the time, my first impulse was, that's a book. But I had a writing teacher once who said, if a young writer could tell the difference between the story she should write and the story she should just think about writing, she could save herself about 15 years. And to me, I felt like it was in that second category. It was a good book for somebody other than me, because at that time I was kind of just discovering a way to be funny, kind of sci-fi mindset. And I thought about that Lincoln thing, and it just didn't, I had no idea how to approach it.
You won a MacArthur Genius Award. Time magazine hailed you as one of the 100 most influential people in the world. The New York Times called your last book, The 10th December, the best book you will read of the year. What do you make of all the accolades? What do you make of the praise, the adoration?
I have an idea that whatever comes at you, negative or positive, if you're an artist, your job is to kind of take what you can that will help you and reject what will hurt you. So
do you read reviews?
Oh yeah, sure.
Really?
You can learn a lot, if you're open-minded, you can learn a lot. So my thought is it comes at you. In my case, I actually have fairly low opinion of myself and my work. It's a little bit.
I find that.
Well, on one part I really do. Another part of me has a real fierce pride in it. You have to be fiercely, at least in some part of yourself, a fierce believer in your own talent. But almost like your relation to your kid, you have to fiercely believe in your kid and be very honest about that. So, for me, if you get praise, it's a bit like if you eat a lot of beans, you're going to get farty. So you shouldn't blame yourself. I mean, that's kind of natural. But, and here the analogy breaks down a bit. But if you get a lot of praise, you can take the positive reinforcement, like, the fact, for example, that there are people who are reading you in good faith. That's good. And you can get rid of the nonsense. My wife, when I went on this tour, she said two things: stay hydrated and don't come home with your head up your ass. So But I'm staying hydrated so far.
Let's talk audiobooks. Talk to me about 166 names being involved in the audiobook.
Yeah.
Everyone from Susan Sarandon to David Sedaris to Ben Stiller. How does something like that come together?
Well,
you're in it as well.
I'm in it. My
Yes.
mom's in it, my dad, my wife, my kids, 2 of my high school teachers.
Really? So
Yeah.
it was a real family affair.
Yeah. Well, it was 166, so we had to really cast a wide net. Yeah, but I'll tell you, the answer to that is 2 words: Kelly Gilday. She's a producer in LA. And I had finished the book, and we worked together on the previous one. And she said, well, you ready to do the audiobook? I'm like, oh my God, 166 19th century voices in this Chicago, we went into the carriage with our long gowns. General Grant came in,
That's a good word.
Yeah, no, so I said, could we possibly just get some actors? And she said, yeah, I think so. And so it was such an example of somebody who sort of saw a window of beauty and just went for it.
Who's your favorite voice?
I wouldn't. There are so many. I wouldn't want to. I mean, Nick Offerman and David Sedaris do the 2 main parts, and they're incredible. Keegan-Michael Key does an unbelievable Shakespearean rendition. I never felt so good about my own writing. Hearing what he did, it was just gorgeous. And Ben Stiller does this A Night Watchman in a totally surprising way. And then I could just list the whole cast, but Bill Hader and Megan Mullally do this kind of wino couple called the Barons, and it just explodes. I mean, really, there wasn't a performance on it that didn't amaze me, including a lot by people who weren't professionals,
Is it true you almost died when you were swimming in a river filled with monkey feces?
Yes, thank you for bringing that up.
Sorry.
Actually, I had my heart broken, and I was on my way back to America to try to fix things. And
From the jungles of Sumatra?
Yes, we were in, and there's a little town called Nilo right on the river. And so there was some drinking. And I thought in that state it would be kind of cool to swim naked in a Sumatran river once in your life. So I went in and was swimming very happily. And I looked up and there was a pipeline, an oil pipeline. And on the pipeline there were like 300 monkeys looking at me and just like pooping. Pop, pop. You could see it like a rain. And I'm like, I wonder if this is okay. And I got so sick almost immediately and for about 1.5 years. So there's a lesson in this, which is, Lola, don't swim in a Sumatran poop river. Yeah.
I will.
You probably already knew that, but
I will take that with me.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Treasured up. Thank you so much.
Lincoln in the Bardo is available now in stores everywhere. And now here are some bold-faced lies from one of the stars of the Fox hit Bones, Tamara Taylor.
Hi, I'm Tamara Taylor. My show Bones is airing its 12th and final season. Now, fans keep asking me to give spoilers about the final episode, and unfortunately, I can't do that. But what I can do is provide you with twists that definitely will not happen in the finale of Bones in a segment called Fake Spoilers. You'll finally get to meet Bones' sister, Muscles.
Hey, need a spot?
In the final episode, Bones rips off a face mask and we find she's actually Dr. McCoy from Star Trek, aka Bones.
I'm a doctor.
Bones tries to join Instagram but discovers the handle Bones has already been taken by an adult film star.
I say we start at the top, work our way down.
As a gag, Bones goes to the county courthouse and has her first name legally changed to Chicken.
Can I make you something?
Agent Booth reveals to Bones that he is, in fact, also Angel the vampire from Buffy. She asks if they can still work with Bones, to which he replies, sure, why not? Bones has to leave a Buffalo Wild Wings because she keeps thinking random customers are trying to get her attention.
Bones, what the hell are you doing? Get out of the way.
Bones watches an episode of NCIS and says, man, this show is unrealistic. Then goes back to solving a murder by looking at Bones.
I need to see the ossicles of the inner ear.
For fear of losing his wife, Booth clones Bones. We have a psycho on the loose, so it's back to work. In the end, it turns out the neck bone is connected to our hearts.
Are you really gonna love me when I'm gone?
In the final moments of the finale, my character will break fourth wall and say, "This goes out to all the haters who only thought our show would last 11 seasons." You can watch what actually happens on the final season of Bones, Tuesdays at 9 on Fox.
Welcome back. I recently chatted with the stars of the film Table 19, Lisa Kudrow, Craig Robinson, and Wyatt Russell. Check it out. Weddings are notoriously awful or awesome. Tell me, how many awesome weddings have you been to and how many awful weddings have you been to?
To me, the ceremony is always fantastic, but one of my best friends got married and it was it was outside and a car alarm went off during the whole thing.
No way.
Yeah, and the officiant kept saying, "Okay, but this is how life goes, so just look into each other's eyes." And my friend kept looking at him and then just looking like, "Can you believe this is happening?" She wouldn't do what the guy was saying. It's like, no, you can get through anything if you just stick with each other. And she's like,
She's like, I'm not sure.
I cannot believe this is happening. It was funny. I don't consider that awful.
I was at a wedding and the ring kid,
Oh. The ring bearer.
the ring boy,
The ring boy.
bearer, yeah, he threw up.
Oh.
Yeah, right there at the, and it was like, wow, that can't be a good sign, could it? And, I mean, I didn't say that. I'm sure people were thinking it.
Now, the movie essentially surrounds people who were placed at Table 19. Table 19 is notoriously the worst table. I've been placed at Table 19 twice. Have you all ever been? Yeah, I have.
I'm
Actually,
always at Table 19.
You're.
But I've been too dumb to realize what that meant. I just thought, oh, good for me, because I'm far away from the loud music. That's great. Love it. Love it here. Hello. Do any of us have a connection to the bride or groom?
No, absolutely not. If you all were to start a wedding band, what would the name of your wedding band be?
Oh, Wakuro. Wakuro. Wyatt Kudrow.
That's
Good one.
fast.
Wakuro.
That was really
great.
fast.
Wakuro.
Wow. I would say that would be. You can't beat that.
Wakuro.
Wakuro. By the way, it weirdly sounds good. That's the part that's crazy.
Ruskinson.
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 Right.
Ruskinson.
I just get the K.
Voodoo Fumes. Imagine going on stage. Your name's Voodoo Fumes.
Yeah.
Be awesome.
Thanks for coming out, everyone. We're Voodoo Fumes. It's hard. Voodoo Fumes.
Voodoo
It's hard to
Fish
say.
crackers.
Voodoo Fumes.
Can we play a little game?
Hell yeah. I thought that's what we were doing.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So we're going to do either or.
Okay.
So have someone propose at your wedding without your knowledge or permission, or have multiple guests show up in white gowns? Which is the worst?
Second one.
Second one.
Yeah.
Multiple white gowns.
Multiple white
Okay.
gowns.
And the bride is in a white gown.
Yeah.
Of course, yes.
Usually, yeah.
Okay.
Because-
You don't want anyone stealing your thunder.
That's right.
Well, they're
Your
stealing
wedding.
either
Not
way,
about
but
that.
both thunder stealing.
It's thunder, but at least there's a multiple thunder stealers, so you can group those people into one pot. and be
Table.
like, you guys
Put them at table.
Why'd you do that?
But either way,
But you can't vilify the proposal.
they just stole your day.
Right,
they
but you
took
want
your
to.
day.
Well, you just did, so.
No. But then it's easier for everybody else to be like, ooh, ooh, ooh.
Are they mice? What just happened?
That all the other people are talking about the people in the white dresses.
Right,
that
and
they
they're
can
not talking
make
about
them
your
feel-
bride. They're not talking about your day.
Right, but they could get over that really quick. You can't get over the proposal. The proposal happens, and it's like, that's the big moment.
All right.
We don't have time for
We don't have time for the rest
That
of
was
the
the
game.
game.
No. Okay. Really quickly. Have your photographer cancel at the last minute or have your DJ cancel at the last minute? Oh.
God, these are hard.
Oh, the DJ is worse.
The DJ's worse?
Everyone's got
Everyone
a
can
phone.
take photos, yeah.
But you pay this man.
But you know,
Well, you're not gonna pay them anymore. You're not gonna
but
cancel the check.
But the other part of that, I think, is having the DJ is cancel is worse. The other part is, you ever notice at the weddings, like the photographer, he's all up in the wedding. You know, it's not just a smooth. It's like he's right there.
Right.
Next to bride. And so
A good photographer makes himself or herself scarce.
a ninja.
I know, but they have to.
No, it's
They
gotta be.
have
It's
to
gotta be.
disrupt
It's gotta be.
everything.
It's gotta be photographer, because if it's DJ, you can just put your iPhone in.
Okay, last question. Favorite wedding song of all time?
Every wedding, at some point, someone breaks a glass, and the glass shatters. And like the second the glass hit the floor, this guy was like, walking on. Everyone was like, yeah! It was genius, but I'd say so for that reason, walking on broken glass.
I wonder if he ever like on purpose broke some glass.
For sure, if it's not going well. If it's not going well, walking on, it pumps up the party. That's what it was.
Wait, so Craig, you were in an episode of Friends a while ago?
Yes.
Is that true?
I was in the fourth to the last episode of the series.
The fourth to last episode of the
The
series.
one with Phoebe Banana Hammock. When she changed her name to Banana Hammock, I was the government worker that like, you know, was assisting
Told me to
her.
get out.
I told her to get out of my line because she was like holding up the line. She was like, oh, this is going to take a while. And I didn't know her as, you know, I'm a government worker.
Right, you were in character.
Right, I was a
You
character.
didn't know I was a lovable, beloved character on a television show.
Exactly. And then I told her on set, I was like, hey, I played with you in Friends one time. She was like, really? Yeah, so it's cool.
You didn't remember him.
I was there for
No.
1 day for 3 lines. Why would she remember?
And that was like 200, episode 236.
Yeah. I didn't expect her to remember, but she knows now.
Yeah.
What's up?
And he said I was nice. I like that.
It was awesome.
He said I was nice.
You guys, thank you so much for being here. Table 19 is in theaters right now. Check it out. It is fantastic.
Thank you, Lola.
Thank you.
That was awesome.
That's our show. Don't forget to check out the Twin Peaks issue of Entertainment Weekly on newsstands now and at EW.com.